Gamage, have you heard of sea monkeys?
I'm familiar with sea monkeys, yes.
I have fucking sea monkeys in my office at my desk. And I, have never met so many people that don't know what the fuck sea monkeys are. That is mind-boggling to me. But B, I have started giving seminars about sea monkeys to people as they pass my office. And so now I have a whiteboard on my office door that's, if you see a new sea monkey, you get to name it. And then people will come and check in on the sea monkeys periodically, and it's one of the most fucking entertaining things going on in my life right now, and I fucking love it.
How are you doing it? Are you just counting them and being like, there's 6 instead of 5, so you get to name one?
Yep, exactly.
Because otherwise, how do you tell them apart?
No, if you see, okay, well, right now, so what happened is 3 sea monkeys were hatched, and then I think it got too cold because we just went through a really cold snap, and they didn't have a heater for them yet. So 2 of them...
You got a heater for your sea monkeys?
I got a heater for my sea monkeys.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, I've learned a lot about caring for sea monkeys, and I'm about to get like a gallon tank and just have a little colony of sea monkeys living their best life. I'm real hyped about it.
It's just brine shrimp, dude.
Yes, and I'm hyped about it. Fuck you. No, so 2 of them died, so then there was just 1 left. And then she had an egg sac, because you can tell male and female sea monkeys apart. She had an egg sac, and though I don't think she birthed all of the sea monkeys that are there now, I would like to believe that she did, so I renamed her the Virgin Mary. And I'm under the belief that she colonized the little sea monkey colony. But she's significantly larger than the rest of them. They're starting to catch up,
oldest.
But she's fucking majestic. I learned that there's a competing brand of sea monkeys called aqua dragons, and I'm like, I get the name. When they're fully grown, they look like tiny little majestic dragons.
Like seahorses?
No, like they like look like little flappy dragon creatures.
Huh.
But she looks like a fairy. There you go. That's a better description.
I have the answer to your question, fact checker. Fact checker asked, what is it that they give them in South Park to make them smart? Stem cells? Give them stem cells. No, they give them semen because they think that their sea monkeys go missing because somebody calls them semen. So they get the semen and then they put them in the sea monkey tank and then they combine and create life.
Yeah, but sea monkeys. Sea monkeys are fucking cool. And I have learned so much about how to take care of them. They like 75-degree water. That's why I got them a heater.
All right.
Also, you can get a starter kit that's sea monkeys on Mars. And it's a little Mars landing with an astronaut floating in the air. It's pretty great.
That's quite the hobby you picked up.
Yeah, I'm fucking hyped about it. Currently, my my hyperfixation is sea monkeys. Welcome to We Have That Podcast at Home, the only podcast to oh my god, the only podcast to fuck up the intro every single time we let Rachel do it. I'm on brand Rachel.
You want to start that again?
You're gonna keep the whole thing in it anyway, so sure.
No, I'm not.
Don't you fucking lie to me. Welcome to We Have That Podcast at Home, the only podcast to endlessly tell you about sea monkeys even though you stopped wanting to hear about it 3 days ago. I'm on brand Rachel.
And I'm on brand Gamage, and I'm already over sea monkeys. Each week we spin a wheel, Russian roulette style, to find out what we're going to do for this week's podcast. Last week we got comedy, right? Yeah, comedy. Yeah. So
we're doing no stupid questions.
We call it comedy, but it's really just rip-off internet content that isn't ours.
Yep. And that's funnier than we are, so it tends to go well.
Funnier than half of us.
Yep. The bottom half.
Yeah, so we're doing those stupid questions.
Fact checker, that's the show.
All right, let's start us off. I'm going to start with, is all black inappropriate attire for a cat wedding?
What?
Is all black inappropriate attire for cat wedding?
What color are the cats?
It doesn't say. It just says, I won't be at the ceremony, only the reception.
Look, I think if the
Cat
cats...
wedding is one thing, but the fact that there's a reception, it
Well,
paints a broader picture.
I mean, where else are you all gonna dine on pate cat food?
I'm under the assumption that if you're hosting a cat wedding, it's guaranteed that you're the kind of people to wear black a lot.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Also,
Something tells me.
Isn't it like a rule that you can't wear white to a wedding? So, that's not an option. Yeah, I mean, I would say black's appropriate. I think if they're cats that don't have black fur, you might have a bad time hiding it, but it's kind of to be expected at a cat wedding that there's going to be hair everywhere.
Fact checker says it's more you just can't wear what the bride is wearing. So if the bride is in a purple dress, then you're allowed to wear white.
Hold on. So
and
you're
you can't
saying
wear purple?
You're saying if I get married and I decide to wear a fucking blow-up dinosaur costume, that means it's in poor taste if Gamage were to wear the same blow-up dinosaur costume?
I would show up too and be like, oh, fuck.
One of us is going to have to change. Oh, I know what I'm doing with my life now.
Other than sea monkeys, it's sea monkeys and get married in a dinosaur costume.
Yeah.
Fucking aspirations, this girl.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Shooting high.
I've seen weddings where they tell everyone to wear white but the bridal party. Well, that's you fact checkers. Some of us don't get invited to weddings ever.
Do you think nudists get
Partly
married
because
naked?
I've told people to stop inviting me to weddings.
I'm going to invite you to mine, so...
I think I'm out of town that day.
We'll see. I'll trick you. Tell you it's a Spider-Man convention or something. I don't know. Do you think nudists, like, obviously they have naked weddings, but is it, I mean, you're kind of wearing the same thing as the bride? Is that in poor taste?
Yeah.
Do you think nudists, like, decorate with a lot of jewelry? Like, is that a thing in nudist colonies? Or do they just go full au natural? Nothing but net.
I feel like accessorizing goes against the spirit of being a nudist.
Right? The second I asked the question, I was like, I don't feel like that seems wrong.
Like, you can't be a nudist and get like fucking, oh yeah, look at this necklace. It's like you're
not wearing
isn't the whole
pants.
point is that you're being
Fuck
free?
You. Yeah. You can't accessorize.
Maybe you can accessorize with body paint and dyes instead.
Yeah, like I feel like tattoos
I think that's all you're allowed
fine.
to do. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like you're not, like, earrings? What are you accessorizing? Wait, hold on. Is there a point where the piercings, like, would be allowed? So, like, is, like, a nipple piercing more acceptable? Because that tends to be just accessorizing your naked body. Like, I don't get my nipples pierced so that my shirt looks good.
I feel like piercings aren't the same as, like, a necklace or a bracelet. Or
It's,
rings.
like, more like tattoo level.
I think that's different. Because nudist is I'm not a nudist, so I don't know, but I assume that it's about being free and being proud of who you are and just, like, I don't know, wanting to feel the air on your ball sack. I don't know, but I feel
No, I want to feel the air on my butthole.
But I feel like piercings are an extension of your body, just like tattoos are.
Yeah, well, and I guess if tattoos are allowed, piercings are also considered a body modification, so that tracks.
Yeah.
I'm glad we asked this question. I don't know about a cat wedding, but a nudist wedding, pierce your nipples.
Is it appropriate to wear nothing to a cat wedding since that's what the cats are wearing?
I think yes. If the cat's wearing a tie, you also have to wear a tie.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're too dressed down.
You have to match the groom's party.
Mm-hmm.
But never the bride's.
Problem solved. Never dress up as the bride, always dress up as the groom. Done. I was just called cunty by a Gen Z girl. Was I insulted or complimented?
I actually, that was the one I had up next. That's funny.
I just love the title. It's so good.
It is really good. Cunty is a positive thing. That's it.
Do we know when that transpired?
I feel like I feel like this is one of the ones I think was kind of adopted and spread throughout the drag community because I feel like it was a drag queen term first.
Yeah, that feels right.
Well, I know hunty is. I don't know if hunty is just the PG version of cunty.
Hunty is like honey and cunty thrown together. So I feel like it's like a softball into saying cunty. And we've now officially dropped the H because, like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, we're all on the same page now, so.
Yeah, I don't think cunty's like a Gen Z term. I feel like it was before that. I feel like millennial drag queens were using it.
I feel like with language, there's always like certain people pave the way and then it becomes popular during a particular era.
Yeah.
So I feel like started a while ago and now it's become mainstream.
But it's definitely a compliment.
Yeah, I think the cunt with the hard T, that's not a compliment. Unless they're Australian. Maybe.
I don't know. Like I feel like the words that I used to use to mock people have like evolved into terms of endearment to loved ones. And like the off-ball terms are what's used to insult people. Like I use bitch and cunt all the time. Whereas doorknob is what I'll call a fucking moron.
Much to Brittany's dismay. Ugh.
Donut.
Oi, cunt! Make dinner. Oh, wow. Cunty, comparative, cuntier, superlative, cuntiest. Beautiful.
Of a person highly objectionable, strongly feminine in appearance.
I like LGBTQ
amazing or very good
slang.
or cool.
Ooh, I like cuntily.
Cuntily. It reminds me of Verily.
I'm going to write a
Cuntily.
romance novel. Be like, she cuntily proceeded towards the door. Oh, fuck. Yeah, it's not an insult. You're good.
Since you're listening.
Long story short.
What is the best way to respond when someone waves at you, but you're not sure if it's for you?
Oh my God. This actually, the reverse happened to me. I was waving at somebody else, and the guy in front of them emphatically waved back at me, then looked at the person next to him with a very clear, like, shrug, I don't fucking know who that is face. And I was like, dog, A, I'm still looking in your direction, so this is poorly played out. B, not waving at you.
I know I've been on the opposite end of this where I'm calling somebody out who I think I see a friend. This is like a long time ago. And I start calling their name out. And like I get up to them and they turn to look at me and it's clearly not the person. So in my instinctual genius, I continue to call the name past them and just keep walking. And then I just leave.
What other form of self-defense do you... I love this because I'm just imagining you on the street with one other person, actually. In my head, that's what's happening.
Yeah, this is definitely a time before, I don't know, I became an adult, because since I became an adult, I wouldn't call anybody I know out. I would just try to make sure that they don't see me.
Walk the other way faster.
Yeah, it's Brittany who'd start flagging people down. The bitch.
No, she's a cunt. Get it right. Yeah, I mean, if you think somebody is... Do you know them? Like, that's a big factor. If somebody waves and you know them, just fucking wave back. Then it doesn't matter if they're waving to the person behind you or not.
I'm assuming that this is regarding a stranger waving at you, because that would just render the question null and void. This is somebody's waving at you and you're like, I don't know if I know this person or not, which happens to me all the time. I've met more people than I actually have cataloged in my brain, and people be like, no, we worked together for like 6 years, and I'm like, if you say so, man.
I gotta be honest, I just am okay with them knowing that I don't know who they are. If you wave at me and I don't fucking recognize you, I'm not waving back.
No, I don't. It's not like I pretend like, oh, hey, guy. I'm just like, I don't remember you. I'm sorry. My brain's not good. But maybe you weren't good enough to be remembered. So it could be either of us, really.
You weren't enough for me, so I ceased to catalog you.
If we had a MySpace, you would not be in my top 8 or 12 or even 20, I guess.
Today, I went to go snowboard. And so when you're dressed up, obviously, like, it's hard to see people's faces. So I ran into this guy that I work with, McJohn, and I slowly started to flip him off. Then he goes, oh, it's you. And he goes, normally my response to that is that how many brain cells you have or how many friends you have. I was like, that's a fantastic response to being flipped off by somebody. Like, I want somebody to be angry enough to flip me off so I can use that and watch their whole world shatter.
Now you got to do the, like, you gotta like do the flip off wizard fight. Have you seen that GIF where like the person's flipping somebody off, and like the other person flips them back off, and it like starts like this war of like they just are constantly aggressively flipping the other person off. But somebody added effects to it where they're like casting spells at each other.
No, that sounds great. Gamage, if you gargled heavy whipping cream for long enough, could you make butter in your throat?
Not whipping cream. I feel like it has to have a certain level of like churnedness. Like,
yeah.
So I don't know if you've ever seen like Sheridan's before. Sheridan's frozen custard.
No.
Ever seen that place before?
No.
They're in locations across the United States, but it's a frozen custard place. But yeah, it's a very delicious dessert because it's a very rich ice cream that's like very kind of thick and smooth and buttery. But I know that if I put some of that in my mouth and I started swishing it around in my tongue, that turns into butter. Whipping cream? I don't think so. I think there's a lot more that needs to happen, but I don't know science.
Okay, so butter churns are like a big pot that you jam a stick in and out of. Yeah.
I know how the butter works. I don't know the full science behind it.
You know what I'm talking about though? Like when they used to churn butter, you're sticking some type of substance in a pot, and then somebody is jamming the stick thing in and out of it repeatedly.
Yeah.
If you got whatever substance you put in the pot and stuck it in the back of your throat and proceeded to give a lot of blowjobs, could you make butter?
That's very nasty, Rachel. That's
if you can
gross.
make butter by
You're
shaking
gross.
milk in a fucking jar, I think you can do it this way.
Sure.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Fucking Rachel out here. If you crack an egg into somebody's butthole and then shake around and shit it out, is that scrambled eggs?
You know what?
I guess.
The answer's yes, though. Look.
Oh, wait. Actually, I have that video somewhere. I'll show you.
Okay. Send it. If you take raw milk and you shake it in a jar to turn it into butter, I think if I gargle raw milk hard enough, I can make butter. I think that's legit.
If you gargle raw milk hard enough, then you have disease and you're gross, and I don't want to be affiliated with you anymore.
That's
raw milk is why?
Raw milk
when did raw milk
disgusting.
become a thing?
Yeah, who was like saw a cow and was like, I need some of that.
What was it I saw where somebody said like people who drink raw milk have obviously never been 10 feet within a cow because there's no way you'd see a physical cow in your vicinity and be like, oh, I still want to drink fucking raw milk.
Yeah.
No, there's blood
I'm
and
good.
shit in there, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of ugh. I don't want to be involved.
I shared the video.
It's the farting it back out into the fucking measuring cup.
Well, yeah, where else would you put it?
Did I ever tell you about the time that I will not be sharing it on the Instagram? Yeah, please don't.
Good call, fact checker.
Did I ever tell you about the time I came home from work and my family was having a party that day, so I was like arriving late?
I don't like where this is going.
And they're all, yeah, that's a weird segue, huh? I get there and they're all sitting in a circle in the kitchen talking about the weirdest sex videos they've ever seen, except my grandma was there and she had the top weirdest video for weirdest sex videos she'd ever seen. And it was somebody getting live worms shoved in their ass and then them shitting them back out. But they were coming back out in like a very tubular form. Like when you pour cranberry like jelly sauce out of a can and it maintains its shape. Anyway.
You have a weird family. Good call, fact checker.
Yeah, that is a fact. You didn't need to check it, but it is a fact. That's some of the funniest shit.
So, I mean, I think that I feel like the bacteria in your throat is going to create something worse than butter before it becomes butter. If you're trying to do it this way.
What I'm hearing is there's going to be super butter.
Yes, super butter.
Yep.
It's how you make throat butter. Throat butter is the name of my porn.
All our NSFW podcast is called Throat Butter. Follow us now. Oh, Jesus. All right, what's your next stupid question?
Sure.
I'm still thinking about the eggs in that girl's ass.
What's crazier is that, like, I had that video, like, ready to go.
You found it so fast.
I have it saved on my computer. It's like one of the only
less
things.
Than 2 minutes.
I also have one where a girl's shitting a strawberry out on a cupcake. That one's kind of funny.
Do you have that within 2-minute access? Because I'd like to see this.
Yes.
If the listeners want a link, email us. Fact checker will supply.
Fact checker will not supply.
I'm just going to send that egg video to my brother with no context.
Where are you?
At home. Where are you?
Talking to the video. There it is.
You sound like an Alzheimer's patient. I'm talking to the video. Like that she glazed her butt. That was actually very majestic. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's the music, but it feels like a very Disney princess moment.
All right, we got to move away from weird porn that I have for some reason.
That nobody's looking at except for the two of us. Yeah.
Well,
anyway.
no, I like to send fucked up shit to people. And then when I find something fucked up on the internet, I go, that's mine. I'm going to send it to people later.
The strawberry one's arguably not fucked up. It's like weirdly majestic.
I guess that's your thing.
I'm waiting for
congrats.
a deer
I'm
to
glad you
prance
found
by
something
in the background. It feels very Snow White and the Seven Horses.
All right. Why do you not pronounce the chives in archives?
What?
Why do you not pronounce the chives in archives the way it's spelled?
Because it's just a garnish, so you don't have to pronounce it. It doesn't actually mean anything.
Archives is the garnish, or
archives.
I know that the actual way you're supposed to pronounce it is herbs. That's why there's an H there. So should we start calling them chives and then archives?
Is it
to
herbs
offset it?
Or herbs?
It's herbs because there's an H. Herbs. But when it came to America, Americans are like, I'm going to call it herb. It's a silent H.
I thought it was the other way around.
No, it's herb.
I'm going to name my kid Herb just to see if people mispronounce it.
Well,
Herb,
you know, if you meet somebody named Herb, because that's a real name, by the way, it is pronounced Herb.
No, but I want it to be like the herb.
They're spelled the same. You're crazy.
Yeah, I know. But
this isn't a deep thought.
What's gonna happen is I'm gonna name them HERB. People are gonna call him Herb, and I'm gonna be like, no, it's pronounced herb. The H is silent.
Fact checker we have a better name for eggplant though, aubergine. Wasn't that originally theirs, and we made it eggplant instead of aubergine?
This is the same debate about it.
Like mold versus mold.
Okay, that's just spelling though.
Well,
but
no,
there's a lot of fucked up shit between here, and I've been using gray as in the British form of gray my entire life, and then recently learned that gray is spelled Gray in this country.
Well, I thought it was the other way around. I thought it was Gray in the UK and Grey in the Americans.
A for America, E for England.
I mean, I use whichever. I spell color with a U, so fucking I don't care.
How do you spell defense?
With an S.
I spell it with a C. Never knew my whole life that is the British way to spell that.
That is crazy. Well, because I mean, I know you're not really a gamer, but here in my world, like defense in video games was always with an S. I can't name a single video game off the top of my head where defense is spelled with a C.
You know where I think I got fucked up?
I think it was Conception.
Yeah, absolutely. Is the signs as a kid in shows, because I didn't really go to games a lot as a kid, when they're like at a football game and they put D dash and then a picture of a fence?
Oh. I mean, yeah.
Like, that's the only reason I can think that small me would be like, yeah, C fucking makes sense. It's defense.
Sure, yes. I mean, that is a proper spelling of it.
Yeah, it's not wrong. It is just weird that my thing is, why did nobody correct me my entire fucking life? Because it was not until I think I was dating somebody like 3 years ago that was like, why the fuck do you spell it that way? And I was like, what do you mean? Never noticed.
Because the reason people didn't correct you is because that it's not an incorrect way. So they're like, yeah, that's fine. Like if you put it into spell check's like, nope, everything's good, green light. Which is probably what they were doing too.
Fun fact, it does not. It starts. My like phone's autocorrect recently decided that defense with a C is fucking incorrect, and it gets really mad at me. And I'm like, this is my default. Can you not?
I will be texting fast because I got fast fingers, and that's how I do it. But as phones change their sizes, my thumbs stay big and clumsy at times. And sometimes I'll misspell the word and then space and then go, oh shit. But that word is now in the internal dictionary. It's like,
Forever.
well, you meant to say good, right? That's what you were trying to spell.
You're like, no.
And I have to like physically fucking delete it every time.
Stupid. I'm genuinely curious about the actual answer to this. Do people with schizophrenia who also need glasses see their hallucinations clear or blurry when not wearing glasses?
I think we've talked about this before, not this specific thing, but schizophrenia in general, because schizophrenia is different person to person. Like there's that study of the people who've never been in our society, like natives where there's schizophrenia there, but schizophrenia is seen as like positive and it gives you positive messages and messages of love and stuff. Whereas in our society, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
And we're not sure why. There might be some kind of like societal pressure that alters it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with that, I feel like it would just be the way that you would normally see things. Like if you're more clear vision than you are blurry vision, then it's more likely to be that.
I guess that would make sense.
Like if you're not wearing your glasses enough and you're seeing things as blurry, then I feel like it's going to be blurry. It wouldn't be clear across a blurry kind of background, because I don't think that would make sense for your brain, because your brain is making it up with what it sees.
Yeah, and like I get the concept of like why they think it might be that way, because it's like if I'm imagining it, I'm clearly imagining it, but like I feel like hallucinations tend to fill in what is going on around you already. So I feel like if you were to hallucinate while shit's blurry, it would be blurry.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I clicked on this question because I was curious what other people answered, and somebody linked like a Reddit thread where people talk about their experience with schizophrenia. And they like the gist of it is that from the descriptions, the hallucinations aren't necessarily always clear, but that not wearing their glasses and things being blurry prompts their brain to hallucinate more. Interesting.
Huh.
I guess
is that like
sense.
Correlation, not causation? Like I wonder.
Oh, well, I think it's like your brain is trying to fill in blanks, and I feel like if shit's blurry, there's more blanks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I know that you're like me, where like we'll see a lot of patterns in things where there's no patterns.
Yeah.
Like we've discussed before, like where I'm red and green color deficient, but if I stare at like a gray towel long enough, I see blotches of red and green.
Yes.
It's
shit starts
fucking
happening.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it makes sense that it is your brain kind of like making the pattern for you and therefore hallucinating from that.
Have we talked about the concept of like when you stare at somebody's face for too long, your brain essentially gets bored with cataloging that information, so it starts filling in weird blanks and will start
Rachel, that is every day for me. I've never once looked at a person and wasn't bored immediately.
Yes, but also no. No, it's like this phenomena that I actually didn't know until recently happened to other people, because that's a fucking normal human experience to think you're the end-all be-all of existence. Yeah. Where it's like if you stare at somebody for a long period of time, basically what happens is your brain gets bored, so then it's like running on autopilot and it starts filling shit in wrong. So it'll start like pulling people's facial features apart and like erasing their mouth and moving their eyeballs and adding ears or like adding creepy fangs and shit because it doesn't know what it's doing anymore. Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah, all the time. Especially in school where like you're kind of forced to stare at a teacher and you're not getting a lot of stimulation. School's a terrible place, by the way.
No,
there's a better way to do it.
Yeah. We have
honestly,
not got education down yet.
I have learned far more from Crash Course than I ever have in school.
Yeah.
Thank God for the Green Brothers. But yeah, I mean, I would just ADHD, I know, everybody listening to this probably knows, is that you if you're doing something and then you're not being stimulated for like 0.5 seconds, you're immediately like, how do I wake my brain up and make this interesting? How does this
get more exciting?
How do I? And teachers hate you, by the way, but like,
yeah. This is why I have sea monkeys at my desk. Because otherwise I would get nothing done.
Actually, the more I think about it, that's true. Because I used to go to my friend's house and like spend the whole weekend there. But one time I went there and they had one of those like dumb, I don't know what to call them. It's like a plastic cylinder with like fucking goo. And you just flip it over, and it's kind of like an hourglass where it kind of like seeps through and creates bubbles and stuff.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's like a lava lamp you don't plug in.
Yeah, well, I was about to say I'm just picturing a lava lamp.
I mean, it's that's essentially it. But I would be able to stare at that for hours and hours. ADHD is so fucking weird because it's like you get bored. You get bored of like everything, but then the most mundane things you like hyper fixate on, and it's you're trying to tell me about how your grandpa died and you have a lot of feelings about it, and I'm over here like I need to stare at the goo tube. I can't listen to you unless I'm staring at the goo tube. Hold on. But even then, you're like, sorry, I can't hear you. I'm paying attention to the goo tube too much.
Yeah, I'm listening too hard at the goo tube.
You're interrupting it.
Now, recently, I started working with somebody who a couple years ago, a friend of mine essentially told me that I probably have ADHD. And I was like, well, yeah, like, I don't know. I've never been formally diagnosed or anything, but sure, like, some of the symptoms are there. I just didn't really take it very seriously. And then I met someone recently, a coworker of mine, who has ADHD and makes it like it's, for whatever reason, my brain has now clicked. And I'm like, oh yeah, I do all of those things.
I mean, there's a lot of videos like that I've watched before and after being diagnosed where like it's people being like, I always thought ADHD was bullshit because I'd hear the symptoms and you're like, well, yeah, that's just being a fucking kid. Duh. And then you're like, no, that's not normal.
You're like, oh.
That behavior is not normal.
Everybody doesn't experience this? Whoops.
I forget what video it was, but like basically this guy was like, when I was a kid, there was another kid who was diagnosed with ADHD. So he had to like, he got like special attention. And I was all like, well, that's stupid. I do the same things and I'm not getting special attention.
Exactly. You're like, oh, whoops.
Because you think it's normal behavior, and then you're like, oh, it's not. Not everybody needs a fucking Post-it note to remind you to...
Not everybody needs a goo tube to pay attention.
Exactly. Yeah, it's okay. You're not alone. But yeah, like once you start like once all the symptoms are like written down in front of you, and you're like, oh shit, I'm pretty sure this is me. Like it all clicks.
Yeah, I was having a conversation recently where I was like, yeah, I didn't think I had ADHD for a long time because I can like focus on a project and get it done. And they're like, that's actually a pretty normal symptom for women with ADHD. Yeah. It's not a standout quality.
But do you fuck off and only do it at the last possible second and it's done like immaculately?
Frequently, yes.
Yeah. You're
like, yep, there you go. So many times. Tick, tick, tick.
Deadlines, the end of a deadline, you are so productive. If you could harness that power all the time,
it'd be unstoppable. The world would be over.
Yeah, but you can't. It's like your hyperfixate fucking works at hour 99, and you're like, cool, great, thanks. I'm glad I got this one project done in 20 minutes.
Like, this has been great. Thanks, guys. That's one time I waited until absolutely last minute to do, for the art class I was taking, we had to write some essay about some museum that we went to. So I went to the museum, took all the notes and everything like 3 weeks before the project was due. I shit you not, I wrote a 3-page paper about that museum trip the hour before it was due.
Yeah, I've been there. I understand.
The teacher was like, this is the best one I've ever written. And I was like, excuse me?
I got in trouble a lot when I was a kid because the only time I would ever get homework done is if I had a designated time before being home to do it. Because once I'm past that front door, I am watching TV, I'm playing video games, I'm fucking off. I can't be fucked. You had your school time.
When we're done now.
You don't clock in, do your work, and then they're like, oh, before you leave work, here's a book report. Make sure to do this before you clock into work tomorrow. No, that's insane.
Yeah. Asinine.
School should be school, and outside of school is not. So whenever I had like homework given and then like that class would give me time to do that homework, always done. But I would get in trouble because I would like hurriedly do all my homework on the bus. And what ended up happening is the teacher's like, I can't read this, therefore you fail because I'm a bad teacher. And
you suck.
Yeah, and then I was the one that was blamed for it. And it's like, cool. So am I just supposed to fucking sit forward on the bus like a psychopath? Fuck you. Teachers failed me.
You all suck. I just got really into a cheating circle where me and my friends, everybody would pick like a subject that they did the homework for that day, and then we would all copy each other in the morning and then go to class.
God, that's smart.
Yeah, it's great.
I would have done that, but I didn't have friends.
Yeah, that'll do it. It doesn't make it harder.
I mean, all my friends also had ADHD, so like it was just a pit of failure.
Everybody was fucked. No, thank God I knew one person that was better at math than me, because I was like, hey, you want to just take care of this?
I would have let you copy off my math homework.
Thank you.
If I were given 5 to 10 minutes at the end of my math class, all my homework would have been done. Like it was, I don't know, equations have always been like a plug this number in, bam, boom, done.
Dude,
good.
That's how I felt about...
I fucking never had math homework.
That's how I felt about calculus. Every other version of math, I don't understand. Calculus, for whatever reason, makes so much fucking sense to my brain that I'm like, yes.
Oh, fact checker posted manual lava lamps, they're called.
What the fuck? Is that the right thing?
The ones on the right side, the 2 red ones or pink ones, whatever, those are exactly it, except they were clear.
Though they look so weird. They look like they're defying gravity.
Well, it's because it's 2 chambers. So like it's like an hourglass where you put it over and then the goo kind of just comes through.
Oh, so it's seeping through a hole. Got it. Okay,
yes.
Got it. What the fuck? There's a little face in the top one. That like top right one that's super red. There's like a little alien creature staring back at you.
I couldn't see it because it was like thumbnail size, but yeah. All right, moving on.
Yep. What's your question?
Do men's penises bounce around when they run?
Seems like fucking yes would be the answer, but correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I don't see why they wouldn't if boobs do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like
penises do bounce around when they run.
Yeah.
This person though does say everything of mine seems to shrink when I'm doing intense cardio, hence no bounce. I figured that's why Olympian statues are so small. And somebody said I call it battle mode.
Dude, I actually, when I was in Greece, I was wondering that question about like why are all the Greek statues have tiny penises? Apparently, in Greek culture, the like concept of being like an overly sized and or angry and or erect male was considered barbaric.
Yeah. So, small penises meant that you had you were sophisticated and smarter thinking.
Yep. That you had a brain.
Because you didn't have the savagery tendencies.
Yeah. It's an interesting concept because then there were statues where people had erect penises and I was like, oh, you just fucking don't like Jeff. So you chiseled him with an erect penis, which is so funny. Hey, Gamage, if a snake got tased, would it coil up or straighten out?
Okay, I saw this one a couple days ago. And
you did not. It was posted 23 hours ago. You saw it yesterday.
That's what it was. ADHD. I don't know what day it is, but I did read that one on the toilet, and it's hilarious how nobody came to a definitive answer. Yeah. The comments are like, well, and it was just I don't think there was an actual answer given. I don't
think so either.
Because electrocution means that all of your muscles kind of fucking seize up, but like for a snake, that's just like coiled. So
Yeah.
I think maybe, but like, what would it do?
Yeah, Okay, well, hold on. The top comment is snakes are far more muscular on their bellies versus their spines. So if those muscles were all contracting, it would cause it to coil.
Yeah, okay.
They could.
Yeah.
But they coil with lateral movement, not flexion or extension. And the use of the word flexion, spelled Flexion, makes me not believe that this is real, because that doesn't seem like a real word.
I bet it is. Fact checker.
The next comment says, not when you tase them.
Flexion may refer to a term used by anthropologist Janine Weddle to describe a new class of power brokers or a musical artist.
Okay, so we found Janine
I'm going to say
Weddle's
no.
Reddit. Janine Weddle's Reddit is radiant turnip, ooh la la.
Flexion is also, by Urban Dictionary standards, people who are descendants of Filipino, Mexican, and Indian nationalities.
These are very random, wildly different definitions. I love
I'm guessing Flexion does not pertain to snakes
No.
coiling at all.
I like this comment. Obviously, it would make itself into a zigzag shape like a lightning bolt. Source, have seen numerous cartoons.
Yeah. Well,
That's
I mean,
the
like,
answer.
my thought was that, like, when I first read it, is like in cartoons, like everything kind of like stiffens up and goes straight. Like,
Yeah.
if a cat electrocutes itself, it's like straight out and everything's like in different directions. So a snake would be the same thing, right? But
Sounds
at the
like
same
we gotta
time,
tase some snakes.
but at the same time, I've seen people get tased before, and they like their arm kind of like goes, and like it kind of like coils into their body.
Yeah, okay, so like legit answer, I think it would coil.
Yeah, I feel like it would.
Because like when a snake dies or has like some damage inflicted upon it, they start doing weird coily crazy shit. So I just feel like that would be the response. Fact checker gave us a video of a snake touching an electric fence. What does it do? Because I don't want to open it and fuck up my internet.
Let me look at it. Video unavailable.
So I also hit play and was like, oh, it curls
Fact
back.
checker watched this, says it curls back. So we'll take her word for it.
All right, so coils seems like a great response.
Yeah.
That's our final answer?
Hey, Rachel,
Yeah.
am I allowed to just get on a bus?
Usually, yeah. Who's going to stop you?
I love how innocent...
The fucking bus police? No.
I love how innocent this question is, because they're
so
like,
good.
they've never been on a bus before. But like
Buses?
the context is like, I like sitting in vehicles and looking out the window while listening to music. I can't drive. If I would just get on a bus, pay my fare, and sit down, would I be able to just ride it out and look out the window until I get back to the stop I entered on? I want to, but it feels wrong. I live in North America, if that changes anything.
That's some of the most wholesome shit. And I feel like it feels wrong because if you were to stay on a bus through every stop, you're automatically suspicious in North America.
Yeah.
Like if you get on the subway line and you just ride it back to the original stop, someone from the FBI is coming to your house later.
Alternatively, I'm going to disagree using that same logic of like, you're in America, people aren't fucking noticing you. If you get on a bus and just mind your own business and take a whole circle, the bus driver's not once looking back at you.
Oh, I'm not saying don't do that. Just fucking go have a good time, ride a bus.
No,
That
I'm
floats
saying
your
is
boat?
like people are probably not going to notice you unless you've got a weird backpack and have a weird smell or are talking to yourself. But if you
Yeah,
just get
that's
on a
fair.
subway and just mind your own business, nobody's going to say shit. We're in a very like mind your own business culture.
Unless they are also riding the bus for an obscene amount of time back to the original stop.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, if I were to, and I feel like I would have done this before video games and stuff existed, where I'm like, I want to go home and fucking not exist anymore. But if I feel like I would have fun getting on a bus and then just like sitting there and vibe and just look at the sights and all that. But
Yeah.
if I were to get on a bus and sit down and like just do a whole cycle rotation, but I noticed somebody else did the same thing and they're like sitting on the other side of the bus, I would immediately start thinking that person's clearly a fucking psychopath. What are they doing? They're just on the bus?
What do you mean you're just doing this for pleasure? The fuck? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. Get on a bus, find out. Fuck around and find out. It's the name of
Yeah.
life.
Sometimes fuck around and find out isn't a negative thing. Sometimes
Yeah.
you're just fucking around and you will find out if it's
Yeah.
good or not.
You'll find out if somebody thinks you're a fucking freak or not. It's fine.
Yeah.
Gamage,
Yes.
is there any evidence that Martin Luther King Jr. ever ate Chinese food?
There isn't any evidence, I suppose. I don't have any evidence.
You personally?
I'm telling you, I don't have any evidence to show that Martin Luther King Jr. ever ate Chinese food. None.
But there could be.
There could be, yeah.
I clicked on this. I really like where the comments section goes. The first comment is, there was a Chinese restaurant on Kane Street within walking church of the Baptist church that he preached at in the 40s. And then somebody's like, I wonder what 40s Chinese food tastes like. And then the next highest comment is, he loves Star Trek. I do know that.
We have
Which
evidence
is
of that.
Wild. What?
Do we have evidence of that?
Fucking apparently.
Well, that guy does.
How old is Star Trek?
Star Trek is...
I know it's fucking old.
I feel like 60s, late 60s. Fact checker, do what we pay you to do.
I pay you in insults and sometimes cookies.
Or Oreo balls that you don't eat.
Yeah, that's what I counted as cookies.
That's a good point.
1966. Goddamn.
Damn.
Yeah, it's always interesting to me when you realize that, like, history wasn't that long ago. We ended segregation. When we ended segregation, my stepdad was, like, in an all-white class. And sometimes him and I will get into it about politics these days. And I'm like, hey, man, just remember, first grade, a lot of white kids. A lot of white kids. You might not remember it, but there were a lot of white kids.
You seem to have forgotten how shit was when you were a child.
Yeah.
Things aren't very different now.
Yeah, like this, we haven't evolved that far. It's only been a little bit of time.
Remind you that there were also kids in your class who kept on to those negative opinions of like, well, I don't want them in my class. And those people ended up in the fucking government.
Yeah, in the fucking government, out and about with families, passing their shitty opinions on to the next generation, ruining everybody's Thanksgiving dinner.
Hey, Rachel.
Hey, Gamage.
What do I do with a gigantic portrait of my face?
Oh, you fucking hang that shit above your fireplace? If you don't have a fireplace, you paint one underneath the portrait. Obviously.
Well, I already have something over my fireplace, so what I'll do is I'll draw another fireplace somewhere and put the portrait on top of that.
There you go. That's the only appropriate answer.
I feel like it depends on the quality of the portrait.
Hold on. I hadn't even thought about this option. This variable. Oh, fuck.
Because, like...
Picturing... I want to make a shitty portrait of you and then hang it above a giant fireplace. Oh, my God. There's actually... Okay, so my friend Tara...
Like a shitty crayon drawing where, like,
yeah,
you have, like, those big-ass wing hands.
Yeah. Just like, it looks like a 4-year-old tried to draw you. Oh, Jesus. So my friend Tara, for Christmas, she gave out a bunch of these photos of her as a rodeo queen when she was 18. And they're fucking great. So a bunch of us framed them and we stuck them in the bars at work. So now anytime you go to have a drink, people just send her pictures of herself, which is fucking hilarious. But so one of the few places that doesn't have one is one of our locations called Silver Fir, but they have a giant fireplace with a big wall above it. And I was like, before you fucking leave and move to Georgia, I'm blowing this photo up to being a massive size because I have keys to this building and I am fucking hanging it above the fireplace.
But I also feel like if it's a high quality like portrait,
it's a
like
pretty
if it looks,
high quality portrait, so I think it could be blown up fine.
If it looks better than I look, like if it's like majestic and it looks like an old fucking Victorian painting where like I'm in a soldier's uniform and I'm staring off and I look great, then yes, I would put that over my fireplace.
I think if it looks like shit, you should put it over your toilet.
Or the refrigerator. I feel like the scale is refrigerator to fireplace. That's That's the spectrum we're working in.
Okay, but is it framed? Like, how are you? Okay, hold on. Picture gigantic portrait. Let's talk like 4 by 5 feet. Like it's big. How do you fit that on your fridge?
I mean, I would make that the fridge door.
Done. Sold.
And that's
I was going to make an argument for the toilet, but nope. It's the fridge door now. Oh my God. What if you just like got it printed on vinyl and just like, it's just sealed onto the fridge door. Oh fuck. That'd be fantastic.
I do. We do like put like paintings and pictures above our toilet too. Like that one you gave us with the cat.
Yeah. It's above the pooper.
Yeah. I think it fell down and it broke.
And you shit on it?
We put another cat one up there. I don't know.
I accidentally used it as toilet paper, so we replaced it with a less shitty cat.
Yeah.
Hey, Gamage?
Yeah.
If a guy ejaculates in space, would he be propelled backwards upon ejaculation?
So, boring answer, probably not, because the force that you're ejaculating would not equate to the mass that you are. Like the force has to be enough to propel your mass.
So do you think like it would cause you to just slowly start spinning then? Or
yes.
is it too centered that you might just like really, really slowly move backwards?
I feel like it all depends. Like if you were to do like a No Nut November celibacy thing and then like
I was going to say, yeah. What if you nut
and
really
then, like,
hard?
And then like edge like 6 hours beforehand to like get like a really, really climactic release. That might push you a little bit, but
okay.
But I feel like your standard run of the mill, probably not. It's probably gonna the motion that you're doing is probably gonna spin you more than the actual ejaculation would.
Okay. That's fair.
That Chris guy, I forget his name, but like there was a video of him in space showing how like there's points on the space station where you could get stuck floating, like
because you can't grab anything.
Yeah, where like it's like the center point in like a hallway where like no matter what you do, he's flailing around. He's like scrunching his body in and like trying to like fucking create any point of energy to like propel him.
Going on. Could you imagine you're just on the space station? Sharon, it happened again. I'm in the hallway.
Get the broom. I'm kind of high.
Oh, fuck. Have you ever seen the videos of when astronauts come back from space and they just keep dropping shit because they're used to it floating for the past like 4 months?
That video, I think, is actually fake.
I'm okay with that because I just love the fact that they were like, let's put this out as lore.
I think they're poking fun because I don't think they actually do that at all. I just remember like that video getting posted, and I remember people saying like that's not a real video, or that's like it's a parody or something.
Fact checker, can you check if that's a real video? I'm just curious. I'm fine with it either way.
Yeah,
but it's fucking hilarious regardless. But
does Snope still exist? Is Snope's
so.
Been taken over and full of shit now?
I mean, probably. I think it still exists, but yeah, it's probably significantly less reliable than it once was. What was the question? Damn, bitch, not even paying attention. No more Oreo balls for you.
She's not eating them. Don't worry about the question. It's a stupid question.
I was asking if the video of the astronauts dropping shit is real or not when they get back to Earth and they're like not used to gravity.
The skit by astronaut Tom Marshburn was recorded to demonstrate the real phenomenon of astronauts forgetting about gravity after long stretches in space. So it does happen.
So it's both?
What he's doing is not real. He's showing what happens when you come back from space. That's hilarious. We're both wrong.
That's
and
actually really funny. All of the above.
Can drinking, taking walks, and lying on your bed doing nothing be considered as hobbies? Not really passionate about anything, so this is mostly what I do in my free time.
I don't think those are hobbies. I think walking counts as a hobby. When they say drinking, I picture drinking water, and then I just realized that perhaps they mean alcohol.
I have a rebuttal. The top comment has a really good argument against
it's pronounced
that.
reboodle.
Rebuttal.
What's your
Rebuttal.
rebuttal? You rebuttal.
The top comment is brilliant. They say, you got to rebrand the drinking to craft beer or whiskey tasting.
Oh, yeah.
Rebrand the walks to hiking or urban exploration, and lying in bed as self-care. And like,
yeah, basically pretend
all
it's
of those
resume.
are shit hobbies.
Yeah, pretend it's a resume and just rebrand.
I don't
That's
trust
a
anybody who
completely
tells me
valid
that they...
method.
Yeah, I don't trust anybody who tells me they go hiking as a hobby. Like, you walk in the woods, bitch. Fucking who cares? Everybody does that.
Everybody's a dumb cunt. It's fine. You included.
But not
Don't worry
everybody's...
about it.
Everybody's a cunt, but not everybody's cunty.
Yes, it's different.
I feel like for the most part,
dude.
though, that I feel like... Because I feel like if they were saying craft beer, hiking, and self-care, they wouldn't be on the internet. And I feel like what they're saying, specifically like flat drinking, flat taking walks, and flat lying on your bed, that's just depression, man.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of just like you are coasting.
Yeah.
And you definitely need to find things that give you joy. Because I do think that you are correct that I think you tend to rebrand things if they are giving you joy.
Yeah. But if they're saying they're not really passionate about anything and they're not passionate about the things they're already doing, then they're not hobbies.
That's just straight up
hobbies.
depression.
Yeah, like writing and enjoying writing, then your writing is your hobby. But if you're writing and you hate it, that's probably just your job or homework.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sometimes it's not a matter of you need to find something that you get enjoyment out of. Sometimes you just need to talk to a professional and get medication.
Yeah, that's I like the concept of like I'll talk to people and I'm like, "Hey, we're overly complicated houseplants. Like if water and sun and food don't do it for you, you need to start taking more steps."
Yeah.
Like there are other things that you got to take care of if that's not floating your boat.
Yeah, you might have like the bad bugs that are like eating your roots. You might have cats might be shitting in your soil, and therefore what you need to do is get
Exactly.
coyote urine to like line your pot so that the cats stay away from it.
Yep.
But you got to take steps.
Yeah, but there's a process. Trial and error to eliminate the cats pissing on you.
Start with coyote pee.
Yeah.
Start with...
Douse yourself in coyote piss and then see how you feel.
Start with creating a circle around your house of coyote pee as if it were salt and you're banishing witches, and go from there.
Oh, I need a new bucket of coyote piss. What are the gals from 2 Girls, 1 Cup up to these days?
I saw that one. It's boring.
Okay, hold on. Let me get you a different one then. Give me a sec.
Please.
I have multiple.
Because the answer is they're still doing it.
Okay, I like...
Also, fun fact, it's not real poop. It's just like some peanut butter fudge shit that they shoved up their butts.
Yeah, wasn't it faked?
It's literally the egg video that I sent you. It's that, but they put peanut butter up there instead.
Delicious. Are human women's boobs so large because of evolution?
Are human women's boobs so large because of evolution?
Read it verbatim.
I had to say that out loud so that my brain could like process it, break it down for me.
Also, I just had a fucking horse blinders moment when I said Reddit verbatim. I was like, oh, that's why it's called Reddit, because I read it.
Dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm astounded also.
I assume that you were saying Reddit, like the website Reddit verbatim. Like
no,
it's verbatim
like
from
READ.
Like
IT.
or that this is a typical Reddit title, Reddit verbatim.
No, I read it.
But it is funny that you've never made the
IT.
connection.
Yeah, no, never.
It's hilarious.
It's okay. My mom once called me after she landed and goes, "Do you know Salt Lake City is named because the lake is salty?" And I was like,
bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I
man.
did.
See how it used to be is we'd go somewhere and then we'd be like, we'd say a word or notice something and be like, that's it. That's where we are. Like I live in Eureka. Do you know why it's called Eureka? Because somebody found it, went Eureka.
They went fucking Discovery.
Yeah, or they found gold or something, and they're like, Eureka! And then bam, now it's a boring meth town.
That's why a geologist found a mineral and he named it Coming Tonight. Because he's going to be coming tonight.
That's a geologist joke that 2 people will get. Good for them. Good for them.
It's a pretty fucking straightforward geology joke. There's a mineral named Coming Tonight, spelled C-U-M.
Yeah.
Spelled the way you want it to be.
Yeah, I got the joke. I'm just saying that it's a geologist joke.
Anyway, are human women's boobs so large because of evolution?
I mean, the unfun answer is yes, because we have spoken at length multiple times on this podcast about how, like, people are more attractive now than they were before. You know, like, rarely do you look at an old photo of somebody our age who was considered pretty at the time and be like, yeah, they look pretty. You'd be like,
yeah. Usually it's like,
kind of got a horse face, man. There's still a lot of ugly people now, but I feel like the pretty people are more pretty than they used to be.
Than they once were.
And that's just selective breeding, bruh.
I really like this comment. Monkey like bum. Human monkey walk on feet. Bum
It's
too low to see. Make chest bum. Human male monkey horny. The amount of fat in the connective tissue increases when the ovaries start to produce estrogen. Interesting.
Thank you, fact checker. BMI is closely linked to breast size, with higher BMIs often resulting in larger breast size. I didn't need Google to tell me that.
That's
I could have
almost as obvious as Reddit.
I could have just guessed that.
Breasts have evolved to help support the heads of infants. Is this AI?
Take that comment and throw it in the garbage. It's not that's some dude who read it and who sees the question and they're like, yeah, this answer makes sense in my brain. Other people need to know this. It's fact.
I'm just picturing like somebody putting an infant's head between their boobs like a neck pillow. Like they can't hold their head up. This is how they have to be supported now.
Dude, 1,000% that's how neck pillows were invented. Is some guy was like had his neck hurt or something and was leaning on his girlfriend or wife or something who had big boobs. And it was just like, damn, this shit's so comfortable. Wait a minute. $1 billion product in the airline community.
Breasts have evolved as a result of sexual organs becoming less obvious to spot when humans started walking upright.
I can't help but notice that, fact checker, all the things that you're posting is from the AI section.
Yeah, 100%.
Because verbatim, it's BMI is closely linked to breast size, with higher BMIs often resulting in large breast size. And then breast may be a side effect of gaining healthy fat overall. Like that's the same thing, but said differently.
The AI is also what said that breasts may have evolved to help support infants.
The first pick is the most believable. It was a trait some sought after, so became more common. You don't listen to me. I don't listen to you.
You need bigger breasts. Then he'll listen. It's used to attract mates.
I'm not really into. I'm not a big booba person.
A booba person? Dude, there is,
a big booba person.
Much like there is such a thing as too big of a dick, there are too big of boobs.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yes.
I'm like, how do you even know what the fuck to do with all of that going on?
A lot of times you just
also that's
leave
heavy.
It.
Sometimes I'm like, my boobs feel heavy and they're small.
I have dated the girl with the big booba and
the big booba. Was it one?
No, yes. No, and like I've noticed that I've never had more fun with one size over another. Like it's fun. Yes, it's fun, but it's like, like
all boobs are great.
There's
boobs.
other things. Yeah.
All booba is a good booba.
All booba, good booba.
And that's our show, folks.
That's our
all
show.
Booba, good booba.
So let's talk music. Let's go to Gamage Rabbit List number 7.
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
Returning to solo female artists who only have a handful of songs you could bust out in an hour.
Fuck yes.
My playlist is going, and a very soft and slow song starts playing. It's a very beautiful song, and I don't recognize the music type, but I recognize the voice. And I'm like, I've heard this singing before. So I go to look at it, and lo and behold, it's Anya Nami. Do you remember Bread?
Yes?
The song, because I've definitely recommended Bread.
No, I know her
Anya
name.
Nami.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was like, I know this person's, this human.
Yeah, so she's had a few more releases since I recommended Bread. Like when Bread came out, and I'm like, you should listen to this. She had like 4 songs. Now she's got 7. But my favorite song being Dirty Dream. Bread is still good. Rachel, also the song.
Wait, what?
I'm making a lot of Bread jokes at your expense.
Okay, gotcha. I was like, I thought I was following.
No, you wouldn't get it, just like Bread. So Unsubstantial is also a great song. The Soft Music Box one that I was talking about is called Closer to the Moon. It's a very beautiful song. Anya Nami, I've recommended her before, and well, welcome back.
Man, I'm honestly having trouble picking a song for the week.
You could just not, and that's it.
I just feel like...
That's a thought.
Okay, all right, I picked a song.
Yeah.
I am choosing this week Lancaster Nights by Charlie Berg, because it's a fucking great song, and he's got a fabulous ass sound. It's definitely a very stereotypical Rachel song, where it's kind of like funky, like I guess sort of R&B jazzy vibes, but definitely more on the funk side.
That's the Rachel standard now, because the Rachel standard
Funk?
used to be about a boring bitch riding on a train.
When did I suggest a boring bitch riding on a train? What reference is this?
Indie music that I don't listen to. I play it and it's like soft and ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that.
A standard Rachel being like funky R&B, I'm down for.
Yeah. It's
funk
that
is
or
great.
Funk.
Funk has made a beautiful comeback, and I'm happy for it.
Yeah, I'm actually quite hyped about it. And it's been also kind of really hard to get out of, because I don't always want to listen to it, but we're here.
Because it's so pleasant. Like, even before funk came back, like if you heard like a funky like bass beat, you're like, that sounds good, man.
Yeah, and it's just like it's timeless. It's easy to dance to. It's great.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. If you liked what you heard, or you also want to know that if you ejaculate in space, you can get out of the hallway, please like, subscribe.
That's usually what gets me in the hallway.
On whatever your most favorite is podcasting places. If you want us to talk about a thing, you can email us at whtpah@gmail.com. That's woodpaw@gmail.com. You can also follow us on We Have That Podcast at Home, all one word. Fact Checker posts photos that are related to all the things that we look at while we are talking, except for the porn. She's probably not going to post that.
We're probably not going to.
Probably. I'm not saying no, but probably.
We will start an OnlyFans where you could see our content until it gets taken down because it's somebody else's content, and that's a big no-no.
But it'll be fruitful until then. Or you can follow us at WHTPAH on Blue Sky, which is whoopah on Blue Sky.
Yeah, blew at us. I want to thank me for the use of our theme song, Vitamin Swing, off the album, available everywhere but Wyoming.
Wow. Shit.
Spin a wheel, please.
True crime, motherfucker.
It's been a while. I can't wait.
I know, it's been a schminute.
Oh, man, I've had so many plans for true crime, and it's all lost my brain now. I don't have them because I don't write shit down.
Yeah, we really do have to get better about that. Anyway, good luck listening to us struggle through that next week. I've been Off-Brand Rachel.
I'm still Off-Brand Gamage. This has been We Have the Podcast at Home. Goodbye.